thermal scheduling. So we can take some problems. Okay, so in second unit, so thermal scheduling. So in thermal scheduling, we can today our topic is on problems. So we can take an example problem. So so this problem will be consider an interconnected 50 Hz power system that contains a 4 turbine generator. Units will be rated as 750 megawatts and 500 megawatts and 220 megawatts and 110 megawatts. And the regulating constant of each unit is, so the regulating constant of each unit is 0.05 per 0.05 per unit based on its own rating. Okay, so each unit is operating on 70% of its own rating. When the load is suddenly dropped by a 250 megawatts, we shall choose a common base of 500 megawatts and calculating the rise in frequency and drop in mechanical power output of each unit. Okay, so here we can calculate the rise in frequency and drop in the mechanical power output. Okay, so here we are calculating rise in frequency and mechanical power output. So, so this interconnected system with 50 H power system, it contains a 4 turbine generator, and these 4 turbine generator ratings will be 750 megawatts, 500 megawatt, 220 megawatts and 110 megawatts. Then the regulating constant of each unit is 0.05 per unit. So it is on its own rating. Then each of unit is operating on 70% of its own rating. Okay, so it will be operated 70% of its own rating. So then load is scheduled dropped by a 250 megawatts. So the load will be suddenly dropped to 50 megawatts. So then we shall choose a common base will be 500. Here we choose a common base will be 500 megawatts and calculating rise in frequency drop and mechanical power. Then you go to solution. So from the first step in the process is converting regulating constant, which is given per unit in the base of each generator of common base. Okay, that is given as, here the common base will be given and it will be converted here. So per unit values will be converted to common base. So per unit value will be converted to base value. So that is R nu equal to R volt into S base nu by S base volt. Then you have to substitute. We can further write R1, R2, R3, R4 values. So here the base value will be given as regular 0.05%. So then 0.05% into 500 by 750. Here base new will be and base old. Okay, here base new will be 500 megawatts and old will be 750. Then we get 0.033. Same R2 value 0.05. Okay, so here R2 will be 0.05 into 500 by 500. Then the both are cancelled. Then it will be 0.05. Then R3 equal to 0.05 into 500 by 220. So here we can take base value will be 500 and old value will be 220. Then 500 by 220. Then R3 value we get 0.1136 and R4 will be 0.05 into 500 by, it is given as 110. So 500 by 110. Then you have to simplify it, then you get R4 value will be 0.2273. Okay, so we can convert it per unit values into base value. So that is R1, R2, R3, R4. So this R1 value will be 0.033 and R2 value will be 0.05 and R3 value will be 0.1136 and R4 value will be 0.2273, and therefore here beta equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, 1 by R3 plus 1 by R4. Then you have to substitute R1, R2, R3, R4 value. Then you get beta value will be 63.2. That is per unit value. Okay. So here we can therefore calculating a total change in a frequency from, so from equation we can calculate a total change in a frequency while assuming delta P reference equal to 0 such that for no change in the reference setting, since the per unit change in a load will be 250 by 500, then we get minus 0.5 with the negative sign accounting for a load reduction. So the change in frequency will be given as delta F equal to minus of delta Pm by beta. Then you get here delta Pm value will be minus of 0.5 and beta value you are calculated na 63.2. Then you have to substitute this value delta F value. Then you get 0.0079 per unit. So we can convert it per unit value into hedges. So 0.0079 into 50, then we get 0.3956 H. So then the change in the mechanical power of each unit will be calculated in this figure. Okay, so the change in so for the change in frequency will be calculated 0.3956. Then then you can calculate change in mechanical power of each unit. So change in mechanical power of each unit will be delta PM1. Okay, so delta PM1 equal to 0.0079 by 0.033 into 500. Okay, so here 0.077 value will be delta F and 0.033. This is R1 value. Okay, so then here delta PM1 equal to delta F by R1 into base value. Here 500. So R1 value, delta F value will be 0.0079 and here R1 value will be 0.033 into 500. Then we get 118.67 megawatt and delta PM2. So delta PM2 equal to 0.0079 by 0.05 into 500. Then we get minus 79.11. So these are all will be in minus values. Okay. So delta PM, why? Because it is a reverse. So here the power will, this is a mechanical power. So the power will goes from load to source. That's why it is in reverse. So we get 0.0079 by 0.1136. This is R3 value and this is a base 500. Then you get minus 34.81 megawatts. Here delta PM4 equal to minus of 0.0079 by 0.2273 into 500. Then that is equal to minus of 17.41 megawatts. So these are the mechanical output power for each unit. So in this problem, we are calculated change in frequency and change in and mechanical power for each unit. Okay. And it is noted that once delta PM2 will be calculated to be minus 79.11 megawatt, you can also calculate the change in mechanical power of turbine generator units. Here turbine generator units mechanical power equal to delta PM1 equal to minus 79.11 into 750 by 500. And here these are the each generator units ratings 750, 220 watt, and these are each generator ratings. That will be minus 118.67 megawatts, and delta PM3 equal to minus of 79.11 into 220 by 500. that is equal to minus of 34.81 megawatts. Here delta PM3 value will be minus of 79.11 into 110 by 500. Then you get minus 17.41 megawatts. So this implies that each turbine generated unit shares load changes in accordance with its own rating. Okay, here the load will be changes according to its own rating only. So these are the mechanical power output for turbine generator units. Okay. Next, we can take another example here. So in last problem, we are calculated change in frequency and mechanical power output and turbine generator mechanical power output. So next problem. Okay. So in this example, here considering 2 units of plant that have a here fuel cost will be given. Fuel cost F1 equal to 0.8 by 2 P1 square plus 10 P1 plus 25 rupees per hour. So here fuel cost will be calculated in rupees per hour. So that it is given as rupees per hour. And F2 value will be so 0.7 by 2 P2 square plus 6 P2 plus 20 rupees per hour. Then incremental cost will be given as delta lambda 1 equal to dF1 by dP1 equal to 0.8 P1 plus 10. So that is rupees per megawatt hour, and here incremental cost will be in rupees per megawatt hour, and lambda 2 equal to dF2 by dP2 equal to 0.7 P2 plus 6 rupees per megawatt hour. In these two units together supply total 220 megawatts. Then P1 equal to 100 and P2 equal to 120 will the result in incremental cost. Okay, so in this problem, we can given as fuel cost and incremental cost, and total supply system will be 220. Then here calculate P1, P2 will be 110 and 120. So will result in incremental cost of, okay, here lambda 1 equal to 80 plus 10. Here P1, so you can substitute P1 values, then incremental cost equal to 80 plus 10, 90. So that is 90 rupees per megawatt hour, and lambda 2 equal to 90 rupees per megawatt hour. Yeah, then you can substitute P1 and P2 values. So this implies the incremental cost of the units will be same, such that cost on extra megawatt generator will be here the cost of one extra megawatt generation will be 90 megawatt hour. So then we have incremental cost. So then we calculated incremental cost. Then fuel cost F1 equal to 0.8 by 2. Yeah, here it is P1 square and P1 will be there. Then you have to substitute those values. 100 square plus 10 into 100 plus 25. Then you get F1 equal to 5,025 rupees per hour. Then F2 value will be calculated at 0.7 by 2 into 120 square plus 6 into 120 plus 20. That is equal to 5,780 rupees per hour. Then total cost of generation will be given as Ft equal to F1 plus F2. That is 10,008, 10,000. So 10,805 rupees per hour. So this is total cost of generation. Okay. Here we can assume that it will be operated P1 equal to 90 megawatts and P2 will be 130 megawatt. Then individual cost of each unit calculated F1 value will be 0.8 by 2, 90 square plus 10 into 90 plus 25. Then we can get 4,165 rupees per hour. This is a fuel cost. Then F2 will be 0.7 by 2, 130 square plus 60 into 130 plus 20. Then we get 6,175 rupees per hour. So then total cost of generation FT equal to F1 plus F2. Then 10,880 rupees per. So we can, so it implies that an additional cost of rupees 750 is incurred for each hour of operation with one optimal setting. And so similarly, it can be shown that load will be shared equally with two units, P1 equal to P2 equal to 110 volts. Then total cost will again 10,880 rupees. Here P1 and P2 will be changed. Then we have calculated the incremental cost. Then here additional 750 rupees will be incurred for each hour of operation. So with this non-optimal setting, we have setting. So similarly, it can be shown that the load will be shared equally by the two units. Then P1 equal to P2 equal to 110 volts. Then the total cost will again we have 10,880 rupees per hour. So next, you can take another example. Here, let us considering a generating station that contains a total number of three generating units, and fuel cost of these units will be given as F1 equal to 0.8 by 2 P1 square plus 10 P1 plus 25 rupees per hour, and F2 equal to 0.7 by 2 P2 square plus 5 P2 plus 20 rupees per hour. Then F3 equal to 0.95 by 2 P3 square plus 15 P3 plus 35 rupees per hour. Then generating limits will be given in this chart. 30 megawatt will be less than P1 and less than or equal to 500 megawatts. Then here 30 megawatt will be less than or equal to PT will be less than or equal to 500 megawatts. And 30 megawatts will be less than or equal to P3 will be less than or equal to 250. So here these P1, P2, P3 limits will be given. Okay. Then here the total load that these units supplies varies between 90 megawatts and 1250 megawatts. Then assuming that all three units are operational all time, so we can compute the economic operating setting at the load changes. Then incremental cost of units are dou F1 by dou P1, then we get 0.8 P1 plus 10 rupees per megawatt hour, and dF2 by dP2, that is 0.7 P2 plus. So here here the fuel cost will be differentiated, then you get incremental cost. So then so the fuel cost will be differentiated. Then the dou F3 by dou P3 equal to 0.9 P3 plus 15 rupees per hour. These are the incremental cost of these units. So at the minimum load, the incremental cost of the units dou F1 by dou P1 equals. So here minimum load will be 30 megawatts. So then you have to substitute 30 P1 values. Then 0.8 by 2 30 square plus 10. Then you get 34 rupees per megawatt hour. And dF2 by dPT equal to 0.7 by 2 30 square plus 5 equal to 26. That is 26 rupees per megawatt hour. And dF3 by dP3 equal to 0.95 by 2 30 square plus 15, that is equal to 43.5 rupees per megawatt hour. Since units 1 and 3 have higher incremental cost, so they must therefore operate 30 megawatts each. So the incremental cost during this time will be due to unit 2 will be equal to 26 rupees per, with the generation units 1 and 3 remaining constant. Okay, so the generator unit 2 is increased till the incremental cost is equal to unit 1. So the 30 rupees for this achieved when P2 is equal to 41.426 megawatt at the total power gen will be 101.426. Here the incremental costs will be high in first and third unit. In second unit will be less. So then you have to increase the second unit generation. Then it will be so then so it will be achieved to then 34 rupees per hour. So it is achieved when P2 equal to 41.426, then it will be achieved. So then the total power will be 101.4286 megawatts. Okay. So as increase in the load, total load beyond 101.4286 megawatt, it is shared between the units 1 and 2 till their incremental cost of cost are equal to that of units 3, such that here 43.5 rupees per megawatt. This point reached when P1 equal to 41.875 megawatts and P2 equal to 55 megawatt. Then total load can be supplied with a point that is equal to 126.875. From this point on hour, the total load is shared between the three units in such a way the incremental cost of the units will be same. So here for example, the total load will be 20 megawatts. Then you have P1 plus P2 plus P3 here. Sorry, this is a 200 megawatt. P1 plus P2 plus P3 will be 200 megawatts. Then 0.8 P1 10 equal to 0.7 P2 plus 5 and 0.7 P2 plus 5 equal to 0.95 P3 plus 15. So solving above equation, we get P1, P2, P3 values. Then P1 equal to 66.37 megawatts and P2 equal to 80 megawatts and P3 equal to 50 megawatts. And an incremental cost lambda will be 63.1 rupees per megawatt. It is similarly where the economic dispatch for various load setting will be computed. So the load distribution incremental cost is listed for various total power condition. Okay. So here this is a power distribution between the units. In example 2 you have to say this is a power generated and these are the total power 200, 400, 600, 800. So these are the power. We can draw a graph we can draw a graph between the total power and power generated units. Then you get it is a linear curve. Okay, it will be increasing. So the P1, P2, P3 will also increase. So here the P1 curve will be increasing, P2 curve will be increasing, and P3 curve will be uh, reached at some point that will be, and it will be maintained constant. So this is a P3 value. So that's it. Okay. And we can take another example 3. So here considering a generating plants with the same fuel cost of generating units. Here F1 equal to 0.8 by 2 P1 square and 10 Pi plus 25 rupees per hour. Then here I equal to 1 and 2. Then here Pi value will be in the limits of 100 megawatts to 1500 megawatts. Here I value will be 1 and 2. For a particular time of year, the total load in a day varies, will be shown. So also the additional cost will be 5000 include by a switching units during the peak of hours. So switching it back during the peak hours. So we can determine whether economically both units will be operational all time. Okay, then you have to see this is hourly distribution load in the unit. So this here load and times of hours. So this is hourly distributed load. Also, then since both the units have identical fuel cost, so we can switch the any one of the units during half of peak period. So therefore, the cost running of one unit from midnight will be 9. In the morning, it will be delivering 200 megawatts. Then you have to substitute 0.8 by 200 square plus 10 into 200 plus 25 into 9. Then you get 162 comma 16. So 1,62,225 rupees. Then additional cost 5,000 for decomposing and composing of units of line. Then total generation will be 1,67,225 rupees. Okay, so on the other hand, if the both units will be operate, although off peak hours sharing the power quality, then we get a total cost of 0.8 by 2, 500 square plus 10 into 100 plus 25 into 9 into 2. Then you get 9,450, which is significantly less that the cost running one unit alone. Okay. So here the incremental cost will be equal. Then the cost of, then you can calculate it, additional 5,000 will be decomposed. Okay, so these are the problems. Thank you to everyone. So our second unit will be completed with our topics and some problems. Okay, thank you.